You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with rich people, what do you learn? In this video, we'll explore some of the things you learn when working for high net worth individuals and the things you can apply to your own life. Number 1. Look at results, not the process. People love to look busy. They love to hate having a full calendar, because when they look busy, they assume they look important. But rich people really don't care about that. At the end of the day, did we get a plus or a minus? It doesn't matter if you worked for 2 hours or 12 to get there. All that matters are the results. Number 2. Everything is a number. We said it countless times, what can be measured can be improved, and with extremely rich people, this is no joke. When it comes to business, they need to quantify everything they can to enable them to make smart decisions. The better you are with numbers, the better you are at figuring out what's holding you back. Number 3. 12-hour days are a myth. Naval Ravikant, one of the most inspiring investors of our generation, had this to say. Let's get serious. Nobody works 80 hours a week, not 80 real productive hours. There's this myth that really rich people work tirelessly for hours and hours to no end to get to where they are. That's simply not happening in the real world. Instead, what's happening is short bursts of highly productive work. We're talking a couple of hours every few days, or a couple of days, or every few weeks. Realistically, no one can work 80 hours a week and be productive at the same time. That's just being busy for the sake of being busy. What they really excel at, however, is being insanely productive at those short bursts of work. That's when they set the groundwork for what's to come. And by the way, we have a really good video on Naval, which you guys might have missed. Make sure to watch it after this one. Number 4. Consistency is most important. So if they're not working for 80 hours, what do they do in the rest of their time? Being consistent. It's not the short bursts that keep them moving, it's the daily, boring consistency of doing the most efficient minimum to keep the ball rolling. If you work out for 3 hours until you can barely move, you won't lose much weight. But if you walk for an hour a day for a whole year, well, that's a different story. Number 5. Buy into the vision. Extremely rich people have really good teams around them, and the only way to be part of that team is to buy into the vision. To really understand where that person is trying to go and believe yourself it's doable. If you're in it for a paycheck, you won't last too long. This also builds loyalty, consistency, and progress with your team. No one can go far alone, and people need strong teams around them. But if the people working around them don't understand where they're trying to go, they don't really know what to do. So it's your job to really sell the idea and make the vision possible. Number 6. Control your emotions. One thing you learn from working with really rich people is controlling your emotions. It's easy to get frustrated or even overhyped on something and completely lose your direction. The moment you start making impulsive calls, that's when you need to slow down and take a step back. And since they're usually working in high-risk environments, controlling your emotions is crucial. That's why most successful people use some form of meditation to keep them grounded. And that's something we consistently use ourselves to maintain a healthy approach to life in general. Number 7. It's not always about the money. Rich people understand that money is a tool. It's the result of providing value to someone else. If you work toward making life suck less for someone, money will eventually come. And at the end of the day, it's more important to how you make your money rather than how much you make. Sometimes a good night's sleep is more important than some extra cash in your pocket. Number 8. Constantly look for dots to connect. A rich person's job is basically to figure shit out, to understand how things work, how they relate to each other, and how to bring everything together. That's why they invest heavily in educating themselves and why they seek to understand as much as they can about the world. So there's no surprise when you see rich people often working closely with experts in their fields. Number 9. They look for deals. Someone said, you can't afford something if you can't buy it twice. Let us know in the comments if you know who said that. Rich people go poor when they constantly buy the newest thing at full price. Middle-class folks do things the same, by the way, in a quest to look rich. But people who are good with money will buy expensive winter clothes in the summer at a discount. Number 10. They have a budget. You'd think that having a ton of money means you'd never look at a price tag, but that's actually not the case. When you work with rich people, you realize they actually have a very thought-out budget for everything they do. Just because they have money doesn't mean that money is sitting around doing nothing. Most of the time, it's delegated to other projects or invested. So when they budget for something, they really need to understand what exactly is that money buying them. They don't look at the cost of something, but rather at what it's giving them in return. An expensive supercar won't give them much back, besides the thrill of trying not to crash it. A personal jet, however, that's going to give them back time, which brings us to our next point. Number 11. Time is their most valuable resource. Save a rich person $2,000 a day, and cool, you might get a nice bonus. Save a rich person 2 hours a day, and you might just get a new life. The most value you can bring to a high net worth individual is time. If you manage to figure out how to save them time and energy, well, you're golden. That's why they delegate a lot of things they don't have time to do anymore. It's the only resource they can't make more of. Number 12. It's easier to train than to replace. We talked about rich people surrounding themselves with experts, but what about other people? It's known you should hire the best talent you can find, but what's not that talked about is training your team. This point goes hand in hand with buying into the vision. What you see with a lot of rich people is how much resources they invest in their own team. Entrepreneurs with a good managerial side will find people who believe in their vision and then spend time training them and give them a path to become the best they can be. A great talent can do good work until they find better work. A passionate individual who believes in your vision will do better and better work as time goes on, often outperforming a great talent. Number 13. Show up. This might be one of the simplest things on this list, and also one of the hardest to understand. One surprising thing you might notice when working closely with rich people is their ability to just show up. And this can mean a lot of different things, from being present to a conversation, finding a book that might hold answers, getting into meetings with important people, and so on. Being 100% present when it matters is the thing that's opening new doors. Number 14. More streams of income. When working with extremely rich people, you notice they never rely on just one stream of income. Not because they want more money, just because they want more financial security. If that one stream breaks, that means no income. Those of you who went through our Goal Mastery course should be familiar with the pipeline method. Those who are really good with money are constantly looking for more pipelines to add to their cash flow. Number 15. There's always the next thing. It's a never-ending cycle. Build a business, sell it, build a new one. Invest in something, profit, invest in something else. This goes for experiences as well. When you have everything you want, you end up needing to find something else. Sometimes, even though rich people may look like they're having the time of their life, in reality, things just get diluted with every new experience they have. And those who don't realize this and don't take the time to slow down and enjoy life end up becoming miserable. Which brings us to the question of the day. Have you ever worked with a really rich person yourself? What have you learned? Let's get a conversation going in the comments. And as a thank you for your time sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. Rich people don't work harder than everybody else, nor are they smarter than everybody else. They become rich through a multitude of factors, and the only difference is they are aware of them and they try their best to make the most out of them.